I wanted to play some of the music, but it's probably copyrighted.
No, that's probably a good idea. Hello to everyone. You are here at Open LMS, LMS Pulse, eLearn magazine. There's lots of brands being around, but you can see my name's Laddick. I'm here with Chris. We are here for our community office hours. I mean, according to my clock, they actually start in like 35 seconds, but according to the clock on the server, they've already started. We welcome you here because this is the time that we take every week to just have an open chat, really. If you are interested in talking about e-learning, if you are a designer, an instructor, a professor, a teacher, an administrator, an ed tech nerd, there's all kinds of different people who are part of the e-learning universe. We'd love to chat with you. We'd love to converse with you. Last time we had a great conversation with gentlemen out at the Children's Hospital in California about microlearning. We'd love to have that today. So just to give you a little bit of background before we get started, Open LMS, we are, we're a service provider of a large LMS, of learning management system services. But that's beyond, beside the point. What we really do is we are passionate about e-learning. And I want to invite you to this thing right here. I always point my finger in the wrong direction. But we have a session coming up right now, the designer session on February 23rd of our eLearn Success Series. Chris and I have successfully hosted the last 2 years something called the eLearn Success Summit. That's evolved now to be the eLearn Success Series. And rather than just one big event, we're having 4 events. One for designers, one for instructors, one for ed tech and data science, and then one for innovation. Our first session is on February 23rd, which is very few days away. 14 days away?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so, all of the tickets to the design session are free. That's really, actually all the tickets to the entire series are free. One ticket gets you access to all 4 virtual sessions. We have some incredible speakers for each of the sessions. I'll talk about them a little later. But Chris, what would you like to start us off with today in our office hours? I just want to remind everybody, if you are on YouTube, if you're listening on Facebook, if you're listening on LinkedIn, put a comment in the comment section. We do read the comments. We can see them right here, just as you post them. And like I said, last time we had a great conversation. And so please join us. Over to you, Chris.
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling a little frazzled today. It's been one of those days where it's like,
really?
But hey, we're here now. And that's a beautiful thing.
So the session, a couple of things are in my mind, but I think once again, it would be mental health and wellness for a series of reasons, not the least of which what you just said today. It's good to talk, to let everyone know how you're feeling.
100%.
Also because I did not know that, I did know that we are in Black History Month in February.
Okay.
We actually sort of, I think the best thing that we could do, not to speak on behalf of anybody else, is just use our social media, Twitter in particular, to really amplify a lot of initiatives, people, books, projects. So if you go to our Twitter, you're going to see a lot of retweets of things that Black people and Black communities are doing in related on education.
Fantastic.
So I did know there was Black History Month. What I did not know is that there is a theme each year. And this year, there's actually, the theme is mental health and wellness. And I don't have to say much about that specific topic other than I'm thankful and that the way we are organizing our event and so on is very mindful about our own ways to work. I was actually talking about the time that I've spent with you working over years, because we don't really have at the beginning we didn't have policies for wellness and I don't know, quality of life and so on, but but in a way, I think we've both understood the value of that.
100%.
Like you and I alone, but also
Mhm.
each
Mhm.
one of us, I don't know, keeps that in mind. Um, and I'm thankful for you, like in more ways than I can list right live, but also specifically because we are able to do things in a very mindful way, in a way that we don't really trigger anxieties, we don't rush, and even though it's a big event, well, first in some standards, uh, we can do it in a way that is leisurely, I guess, or yeah,
Intentional. Let's
yeah.
let's use the word intentional. I always like that. We've thought about this event for what, 4 years, 5 years now, because the first 2 summits we actually talked about, for a solid year before we actually put it together, if not longer. And so we've actually been, I feel like we're very intentional about this event. And I gotta be honest, what's really interesting is that, whenever you create something, you always wonder, will people like it? Are they going to be, happy with it? Will they take value away? And I'm genuinely tickled by the number of people. I've had 2 phone calls this week with people in our community, both of whom mentioned specifically, they're like, hey, I actually went to the last summit and it was really cool. Like I learned a lot. I met some cool people, there was really genuine feedback there. And it's just, puts a smile on your face. But I appreciate you saying that, we've got some mindfulness and intentionality around here. That's for sure. There are, ongoing updates. I like that you're scrolling up, through the design session page here, because there are updates that we kind of consistently put up there, and it's going to continue to get more and more. I'm actually working on publishing the calendar for the design session, which will include all of these speakers that you see on your screen here right now. Starts at noon Eastern and goes through 7 p.m. Eastern time in the United States. But now we're going to be putting up what are each of the sessions, what are they going to be talking about. And, as I put these up, it's really, really exciting to just look at the event that we put together for this particular session, because it's going to be super valuable. So I'm excited.
Um, we also have an affiliate program that was worth mentioning, which in the past years has been interesting because hasn't been like our focus. We do have like VIP passes and so on. We do want to get a return, right? But in many ways, in the way we've planned it and organized it, like in the road to the summit, the series now, it's been an afterthought, I would say. Like, however, we are mindful about returns and ROIs, and the affiliate program in the past has been an interesting way for educators to generate, in some cases, just some beer money. In others, it's like, I mean, of course, it's proportional to the amount of followings and engagement that each of them has, like their persona. But I think it's a cool thing that we have. Well, I'm just thinking of some of the stuff that we're working on inside the company, but I said to say that we want to help educators to have a better presence. Like, um, uh, hopefully, some of the speakers, if not all, see joining this event as a way to uh, increase their presence in a very content driven, like high value way. Um, so yeah, that's what I think about the affiliate program. I think it's fairly open to anyone who think.
It is. So the way that we've structured the affiliate program this year is not monetary driven, but basically you can earn an all access pass. So I guess there is a monetary value to the outcome, but essentially if you join the affiliate program, anybody can join the affiliate program. And that really all we're asking you to do is to let others know in your network about the eLearn Success Series, and just tell them about why you think it's a good idea and why they should come. Again, all the tickets are free, so it's a pretty easy sell. But if you can bring 5 people from your network to sign up, the reason why you sign up for the affiliate program is because then we can track who comes through your unique link to sign up for the summit, for the series. And then if you have 5 of your people in your network sign up, then we give you a free all access pass, which gives you lifetime access to all of the recordings of all of the sessions, all the bonus materials, being a part of the private group and those kinds of things. So it's worthwhile. It's worth a little bit of effort, and it's worth the effort to sort of, bang the drum, as we say, or ring the bell across your network if you have one, LinkedIn, or in your school community or across your corporation, because you can get that free all access pass. So yeah, it's worthwhile. And all you have to do is go to elearnsuccessseries.com/affiliate. That's all you have to do.
And it's yep. I mean, you said all of it. We don't expect to get people like to start pushing the event, right? It's a test in a way to see like if the content, if the speakers, if the way we've approached it can sell itself in a way. So it's experimental to a large degree, but still worth trying. Or I mean, if you think it's fun, join the affiliate program, and we will help you.
Ooh, data privacy. This is Dr. Chuck's. Dr. Charles Severance. Sorry, I love Dr. Chuck. This is his big thing. Tell me about what is it? How should teachers ensure data privacy?
I miss him. It's interesting because usually when we talk about privacy, there's not a lot of thought that is sort of specific to teachers and to learners. Learners do have a certain safeguards, especially if they're like underage. Not everywhere, of course, but there is a lot of development. I'm working on trying to get like the current level of legislation, well, for the US and many other countries. But it's clear that GDPR is a great umbrella for all these issues. In the US, we have California. It's like the one leading the way. And in my understanding, these things tend to follow like best practices. Like if one state does it and it gets it right, others will start adopting them. Some of them faster than others. So in general, I mean, there's never going to stop being issues with privacy, but there are like some things that for the teaching community, it's like worth thinking about. So like I said, teachers may not be wondering about all of the cases. And when we comes to the law, and I was talking to a lawyer, a friend, and she was telling me that in the law, a lot of things are case by case. So when it comes to teacher, we see a lot of really specific cases of stuff like what kind of data do teachers have? For example, we usually talk about privacy in terms of the system, how to have a system that's secure, that's protected, encrypted, and so on. And we do also mention stuff like social engineering, like how people who have access to data should be very careful about how they manage that access. But I think there's a lot of data there. I always get confused with it singular. For me, it's always singular.
Yeah, it's true, but in English, it is always a singular word.
Yeah, same.
There's many data.
Many data.
I know
Anyway,
it feels weird, but it's true. That's what it is.
yeah.
Datos. That's been
Los datos, right? Teachers have a fair amount of information about their students. And if they are a little lax with their privacy, and I think it's fairly common that they are, because I think it comes with the resourcefulness. Oh, I need, and I've learned that like the hard way working for this company, because there is a lot of security protocols that you must follow. But sometimes we all get, or at least I get, loose. So, I'll just check this real quick in this unauthorized device. And it could be fine, but it may not be.
Sure.
And I guess that applies to teachers a lot.
Well, it also not only applies to teachers, but it's also, I'm kind of speaking out of school here, pun intended, but I'm fairly certain that the number one cause of data breach or, data privacy issues or those kinds of things still comes from within a company or within a school, right? So it's just what you're describing. So somebody loses a laptop or somebody loses a pen drive or, sends the wrong spreadsheet to the wrong person or something like that. Stores this kind of data in an insecure way. That's, and again, of that large chunk of those problems, then, again, I don't have the data for it, but my guess would be that most of it's unintentional, right? It's either a mistake or a victim of circumstance or something happened, right? And that is, again, it's something to be super conscious of and something to be super aware of, because lost data or misplaced data still is data in the wrong hands, and then that becomes a security issue for others. And so data privacy and data security are definitely really big issues for the entire educational community.
Yeah, absolutely. As a business, it's a growing business. As a security issue, it's big. And something that I've seen that may or may not be too related is that whenever there are conflicts within countries and issues, and we have like this discussion nowadays, there tends to be a cybersecurity layer. So like whenever there's tensions between countries, cyber attacks within those countries increase. But going back to the beginning, privacy and security is not a one-off solution thing that you can just do it once and rest forever. The advice is usually the same: as foster a culture of security, a culture of protection of privacy. I like something from here, and it's the fact that you may not value the data about your students. So it's important to do an exercise of putting yourself in the way of the bad guy and thinking, what can he get out of it? What's the value of your data for that, or your students' data? And what would they be willing to pay or to go to get that data? I think it's an interesting exercise.
It's also an interesting exercise if you flip that script as well, rather than thinking about your students. It's like, what if somebody stole your data, right? What if somebody had information that could access your accounts or knew stuff about you or your family? Would you feel violated? Would it put you at risk? Would it put your, those kinds of things? And so sometimes a dark thing to think about, but if you take a few minutes to think about it, then that helps you to not find yourself in that situation. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, of course, there's a fairly strong community of security practitioners, of which OpenLMS is part of. Like, we have very strong, and in fact, if you follow us on Instagram, you can see some excerpts of a conversation that I had with the privacy guy here, which is Andy Braden, and yeah, he's. You can check it out. He
Sure.
Very much more articulate than me.
Yeah. Before we jump into talking about Mariana Goral, I want to just remind everybody that we are live. These are what we call our office hours for the eLearn community over at OpenLMS. This is, it's a half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour of conversation that Chris and I have. We're happy to have you join us through Facebook, through LinkedIn, through YouTube. All you got to do is start typing in the chat. We do see it. And we're happy to, basically talk about anything in the e-learning realm. If it's a question you have, if it's a challenge, if it's a success that you want to tell everybody about, if it's something that happened in the classroom or a new piece of tech that you thought was really cool or anything like that, we're pretty much almost anything's not off the table. But also want to mention as well that if you haven't already, our eLearn Success Series, the design session is coming up on February 23rd, which is just 14 days away. So we have some fantastic speakers. The entire series is free. There's 4 different sessions. So you can go over and get a free ticket at eLearnSuccessSeries.com. And then finally, I wanted to mention as well that tomorrow, we also do something that we call the eLearn Hot Seat. And tomorrow we have Elizabeth Dalton from IntelliBoard going to be talking about predictive data analytics. Pretty excited about that conversation, if I'm honest, just because I don't know, data's cool. Data has broken the world. It's fixed the world. It's broken it again. There's just massive, incredibly fascinating things that are being learned every day through data. And so educational data, the data that you have through your learning management systems and through interactions with students and teachers and whatnot, is something that we can really use not only to our advantage, but most importantly for improving outcomes of students. And Elizabeth is, I
love Elizabeth.
She's pretty awesome, right? Like she's literally kind of like the guru. So I'm really pretty psyched to have her on the hot seat tomorrow, and that's at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So we're doing a little different time tomorrow, but please come check it out. Is there any one question you want to ask her?
Oh, well, you put me on the spot. If I had like an hour with her, or like have her for dinner.
Good news. Tomorrow we will.
I would ask her just to sort of paint like a picture of the journey of the learning analytics journey. Well, actually reminds me of she used to be Moodle. Now it's in IntelliBoard, which I think for many ways it's a perfect fit for her now.
A logical move, yeah.
But she did a lot of interesting work on predictive analytics. Moodle has some predictive modeling that I think the work of the analytics is very sound. The engineering is sound. What the current challenge that we all face is put it to work, get value from it in a straightforward way. So if I could, my conversation would run around that. Like, we do have the PAR, we do have the dashboards, and now we're speaking about predictive analytics. So we have the algorithms, we know, or we can have an idea of what is the data that they use to feed, and the technology or the engineering of how the process goes to generate its predictions is sound. What we still have to uncover, I think, is how do we put this power into the hands of everyone? Which also leads me to think to the other issue, and it's that algorithms have proven to be very powerful, but in some not very likable hands, like social media. But so now we don't only not have to sell the value of analytics to the community, to the education, the learning teachers, but also society at large. We also need to do some work to send a different message of what analytics are, or what they can be, or what algorithms can do, like predictive algorithms. Just to close on that, the algorithms that Facebook uses to maximize engagement by like preying on your fears, on what makes you react, that's just a design choice. You can make an algorithm that encourages, I don't know, creativity, discovery. May not be as easy, may not even be as profitable, but it is possible.
Sure. It'll be interesting to see how humans react to it too, right? I mean, a lot of the dopamine-driven analytic algorithms that are out there right now are just specifically designed to it, to talk to that part of your brain. I wonder if an algorithm designed another way talks to different parts of your brain. We'll have to find the data science behind it. We'll have to find the brain science behind it.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
But I think some seeds of that are already in Moodle, thanks to Dr. Liz Dalton.
Sweet. What did we have up there before? There was a
the podcast.
Yeah, of course, Mariana Gorel. Yes, exploratory. And this is what I love about this one. This is a fun conversation with Mariana. She's really passionate. And what I love about the conversation was it's really about the rediscovery of her passion. Oh, look at that
Check
guy.
this
Oh
out.
my Lord.
I love it.
We're rebranding the eLearn podcast. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. But so yeah, Mariana Goral was, she talks about exploratory practice and how she rediscovered
This is the eLearn podcast, episode number 75.
Oops.
I'm sorry, that didn't have any sound. I'm sorry.
It did have sound. It's all right. So anyway, she talks about how she she used exploratory practice to kind of rediscover her passion in teaching. It's a type of or a part of action research, exploratory practice, and it's really our conversation focus or moves around the universe of how do you use this as an engagement tool within your classroom, bringing students into the into the learning process, into the teaching process. So any particular part of that conversation that you took away, Chris? Overall it was pretty enjoyable.
Oh yeah, quite a few. First of all, I guess it plays with what we were talking at the beginning about mental health and wellness, because one of the tenets that she mentions it's quality of life in the classroom or for whoever is in the classroom. And I think we don't talk about it often. And I was just speaking with that cousin. She's finishing her school, and she was a little stressed. And basically, the reason is that every teacher was very self-minded about the workload they would give. They would give her and all of her classmates. They don't consider that students have other responsibilities, they have life, they just go piling on. And if there's no any remedy, any action taken by the teacher or the university or someone else, the students are left to their own devices. So I think making this focus on quality of life is very important, and it's very valuable. And it's funny also because, well, that's one thing. I know you want to comment on that.
No, I'm pleased. We've talked about quality of life at the top of these office hours, so might as well continue on that theme.
Yeah, well, that's what I had to say on quality of life. But the other thing that's interesting from my perspective is that action research has quite a big following in Latin America. The university I was from, it's a public university in Colombia. It was like part of a movement that was across several universities in Latin America about action research, or also called sometimes participatory action research. So I guess the only difference, if I understand it, I'm not a sociologist or any of that, although economics is supposed to be a social science. The difference between action research and participatory is that the researcher, in this case the teacher, is also part of the research. So it's not just about thinking what works or what doesn't with learners, but about themselves in the process of creating like new knowledge and so on. It's also interesting that this is a fairly old movement or philosophy, and most of the writers, like from Colombia, Brazil, like across Latin America, they had a boom like in the 70s and 80s. But it's interesting to see that there is I don't know if there is a resurgence actually. So because as I was looking into it, I don't think writing and discussion about action research has ever stopped. So that's why the name of the name of the podcast is a revival of exploratory practice. Just no, it never went away.
Right. I would say that for sure. As someone who did a lot of action research for about 15 years in a different profession in a different light. I don't think, yeah, it definitely didn't ever go away. And it's, you know, there's been a lot of important discoveries that have come out of it for sure.
Yeah. Do you want me to play the clip? Or it's just 25 seconds.
Where is it?
I just uploaded it. I'm testing
Oh,
it.
yeah, go ahead.
This is the eLearn podcast, episode number 75.
So I knew that my content was good, but I wasn't sure if my engagement was at the level it should have been at. And I question at this point, if my engagement isn't there, how engaged are my students?
Excellent. What else do you have for us to round out our office hours this week?
I just, yeah, and a little note I think may be worth pointing out, and is that for clients of OpenLMS, they don't have to be clients, but of course, if they're clients, the representative will pay attention to that. And it's there is a feedbacks and suggestions tag on the community. So whenever you make a post, if you add feedback and suggestions to the tag, you can create any suggestions, any ideas. It could be like some new feature. Sometimes there are plugins that are not in what we call the plugin matrix. So the plugins that are validated to be installed securely in a Moodle system. Other times could be just small improvements, small fixes. Some of those improvements are actually, they could be possible if you connect with your representative, because it might be just a matter of adding a setting here and there. But other than that, it's a great place to suggest ideas, could be a source of inspiration. So that was like a tip, a community tip. Just if you want your Moodle site, your OpenLMS site to have something that you don't have, just post it on the community with the feedback and suggestions tag.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Always willing and always interested in hearing feedback and suggestions from all of our community members. I think we're going to tie it in a bow there.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, let's tie with these flattering words from Atul.
Atul Sharma, thank you so much that you love the accents. I'm not sure whose accent he loves. Does he love my, Pan-American accent and your I don't know, your other Pan-American, you're the other Pan-American accent? I don't know. But we really appreciate Atul that you came and joined us, and that you found value in it in the conversation today. Again, Chris and I, we're with a company called OpenLMS. We would love for you to come join our community, just community.openlms.net, or you can see down there, elearnsuccessseries.com/community. That will take you there. Also, come join us at the eLearn Success Series. Our first session, the design sessions, on February 23rd. I just have to say it again, all of the tickets are free. So there's no reason for you not to come. We have some very, very good speakers. You're going to walk away with a lot of value. You're going to walk away with some things that you can implement today in your practice. And then you're also already signed up for the instructor session and the EdTech session and the innovation session as well. So it makes a lot of sense. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you again, Chris, as always. And tomorrow, eLearn Hot Seat with Elizabeth Dalton from IntelliBoard at 3 p.m.
Okay, I'll be seeing you tomorrow, and hopefully everyone else.
Ciao,
With
ciao.
Dr. Liz. Bye.